Well, I've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp twice now, so that means it's time to go through and rank all 20 MCU films, Iron Man through Ant-Man and the Wasp, worst to best. How would you rank these? Be sure to let me know in the comments. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my ranking of all 20 MCU films, worst to best. I'm always excited to talk superhero movies, and I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but seriously, it feels like they crank out a new MCU film like once a month. It feels like yesterday I was sitting right here talking to you guys about Infinity War. It is time to officially rank the entirety of the MCU once again, all 19 films. So I've done like, what, 3 of these now? So I'm going to go through this kind of quick because I've been through this list. I've been through a lot of the reasoning. So if you don't hear a reasoning why a certain movie has fallen in a certain place, definitely go back and check out my other rankings because I do have those reasonings in there. For this one, I'm going to try to focus on where the shakeups are and focus on where, you know, I've dropped Ant-Man and the Wasp and things like that. So that's kind of what I'm going to try to focus on here, but I also love superheroes, so you just never know. I might just open my big fat mouth and talk about superheroes because that's just what I do anyway. I'm excited to dive into this. How would you go through all 20 of these movies and rank them worst to best? Number 20, Thor: The Dark World. 19, Thor Ragnarok. I do have to stop here because I feel like anytime like you see Thor Ragnarok as my second least favorite, I have to defend it because everybody and their mom loves Thor Ragnarok. I don't hate Thor Ragnarok. I like Thor Ragnarok. I find it entertaining, it's funny, it's enjoyable. It's right here as a matter of personal preference. I loved the first Thor movie and I loved the tone of that movie. It had the right balance of a Shakespearean epic Viking warrior feel and then had some comedy thrown in there, and I feel like Thor Ragnarok was incredibly slapstick with one of the most epic storylines. And again, it's not that it's bad, it's personal preference. I love that tone of the first Thor movie. I've been wanting that tone back for a solo Thor movie ever since then. I don't hate Thor Ragnarok. I think it's a very fun movie. I laugh when I watch it. I'm just saying that's why it's here. It's not super negative, it's just my personal preference.
Why are you the way that you are?
18, The Incredible Hulk. 17, Iron Man 2. 16, Iron Man 3. 15, Ant-Man. This one was a big surprise to me because when I was watching Disney's animated series, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, The Avengers, Ant-Man never really was my super favorite hero. And so when Ant-Man was coming out, I was like, Marvel, you've surprised me a lot and you've earned the right to take my money. And so that's why I went to see Ant-Man. And then it blew me away with how good it was. So it raised up my expectations for the Ant-Man sequel, but Ant-Man was a huge surprise for me, and I really did enjoy that one. 14, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 13, Captain America, The First Avenger. 12, the first Thor movie. Number 11, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I so badly wanted Ant-Man and the Wasp to crack my top 10. In fact, I'm going to be honest with you, I really enjoyed this movie and I wanted it to crack my top 5. But when I was going back over the previous lists that I've made and going through all of the Marvel titles, like there were 2 places where I could have put it. Like I could have put it near my top 5. I could have put it a little bit above. But I was just being honest with myself and some of the other Marvel movies and how much enjoyment I've gotten out of them. I mean, this was really hard for me to figure out where to put Ant-Man and the Wasp. I seriously thought I was going to put it at number 5. I really did, and it turned out to be at number 11. It's so hard with these MCU movies. They're all so good. But if you want more details on what I thought of Ant-Man and the Wasp, I have a spoiler-free review and a spoiler talk-up. But just to sum it up, I loved it. I thought it was a freaking hysterical movie. I thought it was a little bit better than the first one, obviously, because I ranked it above the first one. But it's also still really fresh. We'll see if time changes that, and there's another shakeup when we get to MCU movie number 21. But for right now, it just kind of feels right. I wanted it to go higher, but then as I was looking at my list, higher didn't feel quite right. I wanted it to crack that top 10, but number 11 is where it sits. Number 10, SpiderMan Homecoming. I can't help it. I had to keep this one in my top 10. Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel hero. I connect with that character. I really enjoy that character. I like Tom Holland's portrayal of that character, and I thought Homecoming was just plain and simple, a fun movie. It just fit what Spider-Man ought to be, pure fun. Number 9, Iron Man. What a fantastic film, the one that started it all. I love Iron Man. Number 8, The Avengers. 7, Age of Ultron. 6, Doctor Strange. 5, Guardians of the Galaxy, which this was my biggest surprise. I really thought that the MCU was going to jump the shark when they brought in a talking space raccoon, and this would be the one that we kind of just pretend didn't happen, which was sad because I like Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec before this movie. And then when it came out, man, it won me over, and the talking space raccoon, Rocket, is now one of my favorite characters. The rabbit is hilarious. Number 4, Captain America Winter Soldier. And here we go into the top 3. Number 3, Black Panther. Just an awesome movie. I love the character. I love that epic storyline. I love that it was different than all the other superhero movies we got because this is about a warrior king. And granted, we get a little bit of that with Thor, but it just felt so different getting into that with Black Panther. I love the technology of Wakanda and the whole lore behind Wakanda. Such a great movie. Number 2, Captain America Civil War. This is one of my favorites, and Infinity War made me like Civil War even better because it's the setup. It's the Avengers fighting within and tearing themselves apart so they're not ready to face their greatest foe, Thanos, when Thanos arrives. And so when you watch it that way, I think it just raises the expectation. It raises the stakes, and it's just so good. And it was really fun. A fun introduction to Spider-Man, a great way to fold him into the MCU, a great introduction to Black Panther and fold him into the MCU. Such a great movie. And again, I just love the fact that with all of these heroes, it's so well balanced, and what it's really about is Captain America and Iron Man and their disagreement, and it was written so well that I get why Tony Stark did what he did, and I get why Steve Rogers did what he did. I loved that. Number 1, Infinity War. I don't know what it's going to take to knock Infinity War out of that number 1 spot. Maybe Captain Marvel can do it. Avengers 4 better do it. I'm just saying, like, if that is the end of this phase and we're going in new directions for the next phase and Avengers 4 is the one tying things up, it better knock Infinity War, like, so hard out of that number 1 spot it lands on, like, number 3. I cannot imagine it leaving my top 3. But Avengers 4 had better do it, man. It's gotta bring it. It's the finale, the culmination of like the past decade of MCU as we head into some new stuff. But for right now, Infinity War is absolutely fantastic. It's the game changer of the MCU. It's the thing that had me watching Ant-Man and the Wasp going, where does this fit? I'm waiting for the moment. I'm waiting for the moment. If you haven't seen Infinity War, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you haven't seen Infinity War, what on this green earth are you doing? Go and see Infinity War. But because of the stuff that happened in Infinity War, I'm waiting for this landmark thing to happen in Ant-Man and the Wasp. And so, like, it's the game changer. So I love Infinity War. I love the emotions it made me feel. I loved how intense it was. I loved how fun it was. Fantastic movie. So, this is my ranking of all 20 MCU films. How would you rank these films worst to best? Be sure to let me know that in the comments. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified from my next ranking video, movie review, theological analysis, or anything else I do here. Please make sure to go around this channel and check out my other MCU ranking videos for other reasonings why certain movies are where they are. And I look forward to having conversations with you in the comments about all that stuff. Hit like on this video, share this video. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.